Yes, yes, fight fans, body and mind, sports, my people. You are fully appreciated in this round, my guys, my people. Let's kickstart things with Chris Eubank Jr. It has been reported by a BBC Sports article. They say that Eubank Jr. is to face the BBBoC over sauna use in weight cuts ahead of his epic Conor Benn fight, my guys, my people. Now, the details that we know of ahead of this fight is that Junior, he missed weight in the initial weigh-ins by a very minuscule, I believe 0.05. Don't quote me on that, but he missed weight by a very small amount. Regardless, he was fined 375,000 smackers for missing weight. A fine to an amount that was to be handed to the opposition team. Now, whether the totality of that amount was handed over to Conor's team, I don't know. But the British Boxing Board of Controls, the BBBoC, as we know them as, must have had dibs. They must have dipped into that money and took their portion, Well, anyway, the next day weigh-ins that took place the morning of fight night. Junior, though, it did manage to weigh in within the 170 pounds weight limit. So he was well within the 10 pounds rehydration clause that was put on him as part of his contract, my guys, my people. So why has the British Boxing Board of Controls, why have they decided to bring this matter up now? That is my major question, because during the time of the weigh-ins, around that time, my guys, Junior himself was parading himself on social media, giving fans an insight the regime and the hardship that he was going through to cut weight. We also how he looked not pretty at all, my guys, my people. He looked very, very bad, right? And that caused major concerns, But what even had me even more concerned is that he looked like he was using a sauna to cut weight. And I was thinking, this is a pro fighter. Surely he must know that that is prohibited by the commission, my guys, my people. You are not allowed to use a sauna 48 hours prior to fight night, as according to the rules, my guys, my people. I also pulled upon a similar example that involved John Ryle Casimero, who was defending his bantamweight title in 2022 against Paul Butler. The fight was supposed to take place in Liverpool. That fight was cancelled, and Casimero stripped of his title. Why? You guessed it, my guys. Sauna ahead of fight night, my guys, my people. And then most recently, we had Adam Azim that was supposed to go up against Elliot Chavez in the undercard of Callum Simpson and Ivan Zerko, my guys, my people. The Azim fight scrapped. Why? Sauna used by Chavez, so says the Mexican commission, ahead of fight night, my guys, my people. So yes, two fights there, two examples where fighters use saunas and the fights had been cancelled, my guys, my people. So why did they not cancel the Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn fight? Why did they allow it to go ahead, my guys, my people? Surely the British Boxing Board of Controls, they must have been aware of the methods that Chris Eubank Jr. may have used. He was parading himself online, like I said, my guys, my people. Or were they just, just choosing to be blind to it all because of the major money that fight was to generate? It was taking place at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in front of 60,000 fans. And the purses, huge for both fighters. This was Turki Al Sheikh's event. The Ring magazine's event, my guys. The first boxing match that they have ever put on in their history, my guys. My people. So obviously the British Boxing Board of Controls, which we know as the British Boxing Board of No Controls, because they show no consistency at all in the enforcement of their rulings, well, they just wanted to dip again. More dipping. Dipping. Always dipping. In fact, if they actually wanted to cancel this fight, they could have done it after the first press conference. Chris Eubank Jr. not only admitted that he may use a sauna to cut weight, right? But my guys, he slapped Conor Benn silly, full palm, full power as well, my guys. That could have led to the fight being cancelled. However, they chose not to. Instead, they fined Chris Eubank Jr. 100,000 smackers, my guys. And if you total all the fines against Junior, right, including what he was fined for missing weight, in total 475,000 smackers. So there's been a lot of dipping by the BBBoC for them to be complaining now. There's been too much dipping as far as I'm concerned. For them, right, and Robert Smith, who is the General Secretary for the BBBoC, saying that come the early days of July, so that is the beginning of July, they will be looking for Junior to face the Southern Area Council to detail what happened so that they can get to the bottom of things, my guys, my people, before they decide what action to take against him. But what action could they really take? The fight has already happened. It's not as if they can cancel it, and it's not as if there was a title on the line that they can take away from Junior. He does not have a title for them to take away. So what is this about, my guys, my people? Looks like they might be looking to dip again, my guys, my people, because the only action that I can see here that they can take against him, if they find that he actually used a sauna to cut weight, right, is that they may say, we are going to fine you, or the fight that you and Conor are interested in taking in September, the rematch, you are not going to see that fight unless you pay it up. So more dipping, my guys, my people. That is the only foreseeable action I can see that they can take against Junior, my guys, my people. You know, but the BBBoC themselves, right, they are under fire. They are under fire as to why they actually commissioned this fight in the first place. I mean, Conor Benn was having to move up 2 weight classes from 147 to 160, and according to the rules of boxing themselves, right, 147 pounders for 147 and 160 pounders for 160. So it's a dangerous move for Conor Benn. Chris Eubank Sr. was screaming this at the top of his voice. Didn't even want to go to the fight for this reason. He thought it was dangerous. And further controversy in that Chris Eubank Jr. himself, he admitted that he was outgrowing the weight class. So it was dangerous for him to cut weight to 160, my guys, my people. And further danger even added because of the 10-pound rehydration clause that he had to, you know, adhere to. So dangerously, my guys, my people. Yet the commission let the fight go ahead, my guys, my people. So they got questions to answer as well. Also, my guys, my people, Eubank Jr., he has alleged that his weight cut was deliberately derailed. He says his weight cut was deliberately derailed. Now, if you guys don't know, there was the story that ahead of the actual weigh-ins, the weights used were having calibration issues where it was given different readings for the same weight, put on it, different occasions, right? it was given out different readings before Chris Eubank Jr. actually stepped on it and, you know, came in overweight. So could have the scales been an issue and not Chris Eubank Jr.? Who knows? So he has a strong case, my guys, my people. He has a strong case. You know, furthermore, you could say he didn't use a sauna. It may have looked like a sauna, but maybe it was not a sauna that he used, my guys, my people. So yeah, man. Yeah. Regarding, you know, why the British Boxing Board of Control actually commissioned the fight, although they had all these health issues, possible health issues surrounding you know, this whole fight. Robert Smith, he speaks again. He speaks again, my guys, my people. He says, Eubank boxed, well, he was talking to Boxing News, right, when he said this. Eubank boxed as though he had no problems. The medical documentations that we received since the contest say he was fine. He was fine, right? Although Eubank Jr., we all know, spent 2 days in the hospital after the fight. So according to the medical experts outside of the British Boxing Board of Controls, they say he was not fine. Because why would he be in hospital for 2 days for what they say was dehydration and minor injuries that he received in the fight, my guys, my people? Listen, my opinion on this, Eubank Jr., I don't think it was so tough for him to make weight. I mean, regardless, he had fought 4 times before the Conor Benn fight at 160 anyway. Why all of a sudden I can't make 160 no more? So he could be playing everybody, to tell you the truth. But still, regardless, you just got to take his word for it, right? Because he has a strong case. So I'm going to leave that there and see what transpires from this situation, my guys. On to the next one. Okay, now, my people, moving on from Chris Eubank Jr. to another more serious matter that the British Boxing Board of Controls has to deal with. This time around, my guys, it involves Jaime Mungia, my guys. He is awaiting, you know, for the British Boxing Board of Control to decide which disciplinary action they are going to take against him after his B sample also turned up adversely, my guys, my people. For what? Yes, you guessed, my guys. Exogenous origins of testosterone metabolites, which is the same PED, performance enhancements, which his A sample turned up positive for after his rematch with Bruno Surace, a rematch which Mungia won via unanimous decision, my guys, my people. And I have to say, this is not looking good for Jaime Mungia, my guys, my people. For me, my guys, all things pointing in the direction that he was possibly influenced to find a way to win, even if he had to use PEDs. Not only that, but that he is most definitely 100% guilty. No matter what they say, my guys, my people. Because it can't be a coincidence that Jaime Mungia, before linking up with Eddie Reynoso, right, has never tested positive for any form of performance enhancements. So you can say this was a clean athlete prior to linking up to Eddie Reynoso. And then all of a sudden, he links up with Reynoso for his first fight, right? And he pops dirty. Reynoso, whose camp has consistently been having fighters coming out of that camp who are linked tightly to popping dirty via the use of performance enhancements. So tell me this is a coincidence that Jaime Mungia pops dirty as well. It is no coincidence, my guys, my people. That camp there, Reynoso's camp, needs to be investigated big time, my guys, my people. The fact that Surace has beaten Mungia previously knocking him out in the 6th round, that for me shows major motive as to why he would want to cheat. By any means necessary. Trust me, by any means necessary, I must get this win. That was what was on his mind, my guys, my people. That is super, super strong motive, right? And another case that I can say as to why I think he's 100% guilty, my guys, my people, is just simply that the word oxygenous, right, just means that the testosterone that was found in Jaime Mungia's system did not come from his endocrine system, my guys, my people, which means that it came from an outside source. An outside source, my guys, my people. It is nothing like clenbuterol, which is found in the endocrine system. So Jaime Mungia cannot be afforded the same excuse that Canelo used when he was found positive for clenbuterol. The excuse Canelo used was that he accidentally ingested contaminated Mexican beef, my guys, my people. Jaime Mungia cannot be afforded that excuse, my guys, my people. So guilty, guilty, as far as I see it. But what is even more disturbing is that he's only gonna get a slap on the wrist, according to the ESPN article that I read. Right? The worst that could possibly happen to him is that the fight result is going to be overturned from a unanimous decision for Mungia to a no contest. That and possibly a 6 month to a year's ban. Now that is nothing. This is something that most definitely should result in a lengthy ban, my guys. But I'm not surprised. After all, nobody that has ever tested positive out of the Reynoso camp, you know, has ever received a lengthy ban, my guys, my people. This anyway, let's wait and see what transpires. Mungia is too adamant that he is not guilty, and so is his team, my guys, my people. However, they cannot find the beef to blame this time around. They need to find the supplement that caused it, right? Because this is from an outside source, not something that can be found in your endocrine system. With that said, on to the next one, my guys, my people. Okay, my people. Before I go, let's discuss Deontay Wilder. Let's discuss Deontay Wilder, my guys, my people, who is fighting on the 27th of this very month in Wichita, Kansas. He is going up against Terrell Hendon, who is a journeyman. Doesn't matter which angle you want to look at it from. He's a journeyman that lost to F.A. Jabba in 1 round in Jabba's debut fight. Lost to Richard Torres in 2 rounds. So this is obviously somebody that you use to develop young, up-and-coming prospects, my guys, my people. So that concludes. Deontay Wilder is going right to basics, back to the drawing board, relearning boxing, my guys, my people, or should I say, redeveloping himself, rebuilding himself right from the bottom up, my guys, my people. You know, so I expect him to get the win. This should be a routine win for Deontay Wilder, my guys, my people. Terrell Hendon, by his record, it shows that he is possibly one of Deontay Wilder's worst opponents that he has ever faced. You couldn't compare him to the best opponents that he's faced on his record. Not even the mid-tier opponents like Robert Helenius. You couldn't compare Terrell Hendon to them, my guys, my people. You know, but for people who have built up Deontay Wilder to be this, right, possibly the best in boxing at one time, that time being before he lost those 2 fights to Tyson Fury, who really has Deontay Wilder beaten that you could say was a really good fighter, aside from Luis Ortiz? And that was an aged Luis Ortiz, my guys, my people. You know, so aside from, and Bermain Stevan, come on, my guys. So apart from these two fighters, has he really beaten anybody to put him right there? Really, the only thing that put him right there was that right hand, not his boxing skills. Not his boxing skills, my guys, my people. So, I don't know what, what Deontay Wilder could show me in his fight with Terrell Hendon that would make me say that he is back. I don't know. Would it be like newfound boxing skills that we've never seen before, or him getting rid of Terrell Hendon in a couple rounds? I don't know. Maybe newfound boxing skills, possibly. Possibly, my guys, my people. But the right hand, if he floors Hendon and gets rid of him in a couple rounds, for me, that is too routine, because Hendon is somebody that you feed to prospects anyway. To me, that would be a routine win for Deontay Wilder, my guys, my people. However, I am still reserving my opinion to say that he's a shot fighter. I can't, because if I call him a shot fighter, I also have to say that Anthony Joshua is a completely shot fighter, and I'll be having the same voice as those who are saying that AJ and Deontay Wilder need to retire, my guys, my people. Who would win if AJ and Deontay Wilder face one another? A lot of people are at least still giving AJ a chance, to possibly produce in his next fight, but no one is giving Deontay Wilder a chance and past Terrell Hendon, right? Obviously, he's going to pass Terrell Hendon, but after that, nobody's really giving him a chance at all. They're just saying he should just retire, he's a shot fire, he's finished. And I don't agree with that. I really don't agree with that, because I believe that his last two opponents have been harder than what AJ went up against in Daniel Dubois. Seriously, have been harder. Look at it this way. Joseph Parker. Who would have won between Joseph Parker and Daniel Dubois? Now, most people would say Joseph Parker would have won. When they were supposed to fight one another on the last Crescendo fight card, that fight didn't happen, my guys, my people. But I remember clearly a lot of the so-called boxing experts and fighters, experienced fighters, Martin Bacoli for one, picking Joseph Parker to beat Daniel Dubois, my guys, my people. So you could say there that Deontay Wilder fought the harder opponent. Not Anthony Joshua, my guys, my people. He fought the harder opponent in Joseph Parker. Deontay Wilder did. Again, Zhilei Zhang. Who would have won, Daniel Dubois or Zhilei Zhang? Now, I can tell you that when Zhilei Zhang and Hrgović fought, that was a controversial result in which Zhilei Zhang should have won, my guys, my people. Whereas Daniel Dubois and Hrgović, Daniel Dubois went tooth and nail to get that win from Hrgović. He really had to pull it out the stocks because he was eating right hands upon right hands upon right hands. And he really had to make it rough, a real rough housing kind of play, my guys. Even his head, he was using everything. Had Hrgović cut, and Hrgović is somebody who could not suffer through a sustained punishment like cuts and all sort of things. His stamina as well, he's not really known for great stamina as well. So that fight got stopped, right? He checked out, right? So yeah, so Daniel Dubois had to pull out the stocks with Hrgović. Also, Joe Joyce, who stopped Daniel Dubois, Zhilei Zhang treated him like a kid twice. Stopped him really, really early. So I'm going to say twice Deontay Wilder has faced harder opponents than Joshua's one opponent in Daniel Dubois, my guys, my people. For me, it's very clear. So I can't say he's a totally shot fighter. We don't really know whether he really did go away. We don't know, because everything that he's lost to has been the top tier opponents. Very top tier. You know, top tier Tyson Fury twice, top tier Zhilei Zhang, top tier Joseph Parker. And the Joseph Parker fight, dear Lord, Joseph Parker was panic fighting in spots like, oh my God, I'm going to get hit with that right hand. He didn't want to see that right hand. Joseph Parker was slapping a lot in that fight. When have you ever seen Joseph Parker slap with his punches? That was the very first fight with Deontay Wilder. I've seen him slap with punches, my guys, my people. So I would be very, very reluctant to write out Deontay Wilder completely. You know, I'm not going to judge his comeback from this Terrell Hendon fight. But if he shows me some boxing skills, at least I would say, that's looking a little bit promising. You know, but I doubt if I'm going to see that. So I think he's going to knock him out routinely. However, I'm not going to be convinced with that. But at the same time, I'm not going to write him off simply for the reasons that I've given, my guys, my people. A lot of people thinking Deontay Wilder is back because of the recent interviews he's having where he's talking real positive and whatnot, my guys, my people. Who knows? Even he himself, he says he feels motivated. He's in a different space right now. He's feeling peaceful because of the betrayal that he's had. He's also now doing things more for himself. So he's more selfish than he used to be. So he's learned a great deal in life. And I hope that now that he's doing things for himself and not for other people, that may influence him to come out and bring out that animal in him that was once there, my guys, that killer instinct. And I remember him in the past, in his shows, press conferences, he'll be talking about he wants to catch a body in the ring. Now, I wasn't totally getting it at the time, but once he explained it with Robert Helwani, that you don't play boxing, they are trained to kill. Damn right they are trained to kill, because in boxing, if you want to last, it's kill or be killed. If you want to get past those deep waters where you're receiving punishment, right, my guys, my people, kill or be killed, my guys. And that is the difference between the very best and those who check out, my guys, my people. That's why we have referee, to save them from themselves, right? Right, my guys, my people. And with that said, that's all I've got for this one. Before you leave, do like, do share, subscribe. Of course, drop your comments below. And as always, stay super, super blessed.